Welcome back. Google gearing up for a second antitrust battle with the U.S. Department of Justice. This lawsuit is calling out big tech and Google over dominance in online advertising. The DOJ wants Google to sell the companies that it acquired, like LinkedIn, over the last few years. It's trying to compete with other rising apps and emerging artificial intelligence as well. Joining me right now to walk us through it is the Heritage Foundation Tech Policy Center Director, former Facebook analyst and former Department of Defense counterterrorism analyst, Frederick. Kara, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. So the DOJ is suing Google. They say that Google is dominant in its advertising business, and they also want those deals that the company has done over the last few years unwound, like the acquisition of LinkedIn. Your thoughts on this, where this is going?
So I think this is really interesting, and this additional lawsuit, it adds to a bevy of suits that Google's facing.
Yeah.
What is really important here, and I think regardless of the mechanism, whether it goes through lawsuits or legislation, like what Senator Mike Lee is expected to reintroduce targeting Google's ad tech business, I think it speaks to the fact that Google is conducting, frankly, textbook anti-competitive practices by operating in the buy side, the sell side, and operating an ad exchange as well. You had allegedly a Google executive say that it would be like if Goldman or Citibank is owning the New York Stock Exchange. So I think additional scrutiny over these anti-competitive practices is warranted. Whether or not it goes in Congress or winds through the courts, it might take a lot longer, but a very, very interesting development and a lot of energy behind all of this as well, even on the Republican side.
That's what I'm wondering, though, how much energy at the end of the day is going to be given here, because, first of all, big tech is a huge donor to both sides of the aisle. And, you know, we've got Section 230 that we talk about all the time that makes them, you know, they are not liable at all in terms of lawsuits because of Section 230. Is that something you think that will go away? Because it's not just Google, we know. Apple is being investigated for its App Store potential dominance there, some regulators say. And then you've got the FTC looking at other big names like Meta. So where is this going at the end of the day? Do you think we will see some of the power taken away of these big tech companies?
One can only hope. And at the end of February, very interesting, there's a Section 230 case, two back-to-back, going up to the Supreme Court. So hopefully Congress will decide to actually make moves and not just look to the courts to do this. But you're right, there's a lot of gridlock, especially among Republicans themselves, as they sort of shake the inertia of always being on the side of private companies. Now that we've seen what private companies can do, especially when they collude with the government, you look at the Twitter files and what Elon Musk released. I think it's very important for representatives like Ken Buck, again, Senator Mike Lee, to actually have that voice gain purchase within their own party to effectively cut into the abuses that big tech has visited on the American people and our ability to be self-governing in this republic. So I do think that it's going to get some traction, but we still have a long way to go in terms of holding big tech to account.
And then, you know, there's technology and innovation that keeps moving on. I mean, we're talking this morning about Chat GPT. Lawmakers are calling for more regulation on artificial intelligence as concerns are growing over the development of Chat GPT. Officials are warning that Chat GPT could make certain jobs obsolete, like education, finance, software engineering, journalism, graphic design. I mean, at the end of the day, Kara, you're talking about white-collar jobs going away, you know, high-paying jobs that require skills and lots of schooling. What is your take on what's going on with AI, and should the government be involved here?
Well, one thing that permeated our understanding of emerging technologies, especially when I worked at Facebook, was that technology always outpaces attempts to govern it. So our whole ethos was ship, sort of worry about the consequences later. Let's think about that later once we get the technology deployed. So I think humans are going to have to level up in this instance, because we know, especially with OpenAI and everything they've been doing. Previously, they had GPT-3. Now now they have ChatGPT. This is, I mean, it is screaming ahead. The use of natural language processing, this allows machines to understand text in a more human-like fashion. That is just going gangbusters, and we're only going to see more of it. So I think in this instance, humans just have to be better than machines. We need to take classical education much more seriously and differentiate ourselves from what machines do best, which is parse through reams of text.
You're absolutely right. Kara, you don't want the heavy hand of government involved in innovation here. Kara, great to get your thoughts on all of that. Thank you.